Hello lovelies, I'm Margot, and in today's video I'm gonna help you get started decluttering. Let's jump into 5 decluttering strategies that will help you get your home from cluttered to clean and tidy. No, not like that. Grab a notebook and let's get started. If you want to follow along and actually declutter while you're watching this video, grab a trash bag. Oftentimes we feel extremely overwhelmed when it comes to decluttering before we even start. There's a lot of things to declutter. We take in the big picture, and that is the mistake. The best way to start is tip number 1, and that is to start small. Not this small. Now, I know you might be tempted to dive headfirst into the mess and start tackling everything all at once, but trust me, that is a recipe for disaster. Instead, start small. Pick one area of your home, like your closet or your kitchen counter, and focus on that. It's easier to stay motivated when you see progress, and starting small will give you the sense of accomplishment you need to keep going. I have helped countless women get started decluttering. And what I have learned is that when we start small, when we tackle an underwear drawer or a shelf in our pantry or underneath your bathroom sink, we build momentum. We realize that decluttering is not as overwhelming and hard and tedious as we think. So starting small will work. Leave a comment, let me know what area of your home are you thinking of starting with. My recommendation is always the sock and underwear drawer because quite frankly, it's probably due for a decluttering. Oftentimes we overthink the decluttering process. And again, because we're taking in the big picture, it's preventing us from starting. We're actually getting overwhelmed and stressed before we begin. So I highly urge you, yes, your home has clutter. Yes, some areas of your space are more cluttered than others. Yes, it's a lot. I'm here to tell you, true story, you're not going to be able to achieve a clutter-free, tidy home in a week, in a month. It might take you 6 months. It might take you a year. It might take you 2 years. But guess what? The number 1 rule to decluttering is to simply start. The feelings of stress and overwhelm will actually not go away until you begin decluttering. I recently ran a 5-day decluttering journey, and the women in my Facebook group are absolutely phenomenal. Yet we're so stressed and overwhelmed at the thought of decluttering their space. And guess what worked, right? Every single day for 5 days, we chose a small area of their home to declutter. And after the 5-day decluttering challenge, they're like, wait a second. This is not as hard as I thought. They build momentum. They build that motivation. So I urge you, start. Forget thinking about how hard it is. Obviously, don't start with sentimental items. You should leave those for last. Don't overthink it. Decluttering it is a process, so you need to start somewhere. I promise you that once you begin, the motivation, the momentum will be there. The feelings of stress and overwhelm will dissipate, and you're going to be more likely and more encouraged to keep going and to tackle other areas of your home. I actually have a ton of videos on my channel. I'll leave links to them in the description where I walk you through how to declutter every single room in your space. So if you're interested, check out the vids in the description. When it comes to starting small, here's a pro tip. Something that really works is to set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. So you have a timer that goes off, you begin decluttering, let's say your makeup, right? After the 15-minute timer goes off, you stop. If 15 minutes maybe for you to begin with is a little too much, that's totally okay. I encourage you then to start with the 60-second purge. You know how much I love my 60-second purge. And that is essentially where you grab a bin or a box and walk around your space collecting surface clutter that you know absolutely 100% you don't need. You swipe it, you put it in this box or a bin, and then you trash or recycle it. You can also donate. Regardless of how much time you are willing to dedicate to decluttering, once you begin, you won't be able to stop because you're going to see progress being made. You're going to feel how amazing it is to even have your nightstand decluttered. And that is where true motivation comes from. You don't get motivated before the fact. You get motivated from taking action. So I highly urge you, if you are someone who's been thinking about decluttering, and I mean, you're watching this video, so clearly you have decluttering on your mind, I really highly encourage you to start. Once you start, it will not be as bad as you thought. Not only that, you're gonna kick butt at it. You're gonna be good at it. It's gonna feel phenomenal to get rid of the things in your home that no longer serve you, that you don't need, that are merely clutter. You got this. And then let's take a moment to celebrate. It is incredibly important to celebrate your win. And by the way, if you're looking for an accountability partner or a fantastic support group of like-minded women, you can join my free Facebook group. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into decluttering tip number 2 when you're getting started, and that is to make a plan. Decluttering without a plan is like driving without a GPS. You might get to your destination eventually, but it's going to take a lot longer, and you'll probably take some wrong turns along the way. So before you start decluttering, make a plan. Write down the areas in your home that you want to tackle. What do you want to accomplish? And how long do you want to spend on each task? Having a plan will keep you focused and motivated and help you avoid getting overwhelmed. One of the things that I always advise my clients is to identify your why. In my experience, the stronger your why, the more likely you are to not only begin decluttering, but stick with it. Remember, decluttering is a process. So when we're talking about making a plan, the first thing you want to do is identify your why. Why is it important for you to achieve a clutter-free home? How will this serve you? How will this improve your life and the lives of those around you? Is your why because you don't want to freak out when guests come over? Is your why because you want to walk into your home and have it feel peaceful? Is your why because you are transitioning to being a minimalist and you just really don't want to surround yourself with a bunch of things that don't serve you? Is your why because you want to spend less time on cleaning, which by the way happens, the less stuff you have, the less time you clean. What is your why, ladies? Drop a comment, let me know, what is your why? Your why is really the most important thing when it comes to creating your decluttering plan. So I urge you to have a strong why. Get specific. You know, I want a clutter-free home because I no longer want to feel overwhelmed. That's great. How will no longer feeling overwhelmed serve you? How will it benefit you? How will it improve your life? What is being less stressed look like to you? What does it feel like to you? Having a clutter-free home, what will it do for you? Maybe you want to, so I mentioned save time on cleaning. If you save time on cleaning, what does that give you time for? Does it give you more time to spend with friends and family? Does it give you more time to self-care? What is your why? Spend a few minutes, I hope you have a notebook in hand, spend a few minutes to really journal out your why. And every single time in the future you don't feel encouraged or motivated or you're procrastinating decluttering, I want you to reread your why. Remember your why and you will achieve a clutter-free home. Now, as far as other aspects of creating a plan, keep it very, very simple. You know, I love organization. I can't live without organization. To me, the world is in chaos. If there are no to-do lists and plans and checklists, this is just kind of how I am. With that said, I don't want you to spend hours creating a decluttering plan. It should take you a few minutes. It should be incredibly simple. You've identified your why, then you walk around your space and you identify all of the areas of clutter. Don't just say my whole home has clutter. Okay, you know, I get that. Walk around with a notepad or your cell phone and just write down, be specific. The more specific you are, the more tangible it is, the more likely you are to actually stick with your game plan. Not only that, it feels fantastic to check things off the list. So for example, walk around your home. You could be like, the dressers have clutter, the nightstands, the closet, underneath the bed, the kitchen countertop, the kitchen drawers, the kitchen cabinets. I want you to get specific. Write it all down. It's not going to take you more than 10 to 15 minutes. Write it all down. Once you have it in front of you, prioritize what is the most important area for you to declutter first. What is that area that makes your eye twitch, right? That you're just like, oh my God, I wish this was clutter-free. And then all you need to do is you just prioritize, which is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, whatever, right? And that becomes your decluttering plan. The next thing that you want to do is you want to identify realistically how many minutes, how many hours during a week or bi-weekly or once a month can you declutter? How much time can you realistically dedicate to the decluttering process? So let's say you have 30 minutes every Sunday. Cool. Pencil it in. 30 minutes every Sunday, you're going down the list and you're beginning to declutter those areas. Simple. Your why, all the spaces in your home that have clutter, identify what's a priority for you, how much time you can dedicate, and keep it moving. Every single time you declutter, you celebrate that win. That's gonna keep you motivated. So if you decluttered an underwear and sock drawer, a great way to celebrate would be, well, you can pour yourself a cup of coffee, give yourself a nice pat on the back, or a great way is to just go buy new underwear or a new pair of socks, right? We want to celebrate the wins. You want to take a moment to look around the area or the space that you decluttered, and you want to breathe it in and you want to feel good about it. Are you decluttering now? Let me know in the comments. As you're watching this video, are you tackling that underwear drawer? I have helped so many women and so many families create their customized decluttering plan, a plan that is suited for their specific lifestyle. So if that is something you're interested in, you can reach out to me to find out how we can work together further. I'll leave my contact information in the description. Decluttering tip number 3 is the 1 in, 1 out rule. The 1 in, 1 out rule is a fabulous way to maintain a clutter-free home. It is a wonderful starting mindset to have, which will serve you in the future when you're more of an intermediate level of decluttering, when you begin to be more intentional about the items that you bring into your home. And here's one thing I will tell you. The more you declutter, right? Especially if you're somebody that likes to shop, you like things. I mean, we're women, we love it, right? Who doesn't love shopping? But the more that you declutter, the more you start to value your home and your space, and the more you feel like you can breathe in your environment. And what ends up happening is that parallel to that, your mindset will actually shift. And you automatically will begin to be more intentional about the items that you bring into your home. So you're gonna think twice about purchasing that extra mug. You're gonna think twice about buying some kind of trinket to put on your shelf. That will just naturally happen as you begin to declutter your home. So I highly recommend the 1 in, 1 out rule when you are a decluttering beginner. And the 1 in, 1 out rule simply means that every single time you go and you purchase something, right? When you come home, you get rid of an existing item. So it's 1 for 1. So you purchase a mug. When you get home, you get rid of a mug. You purchase a sweater, you get rid of an older sweater. You purchase a pair of jeans, you get rid of a pair of jeans that is just sitting in your dresser drawers and you haven't worn in like 10 years, right? So it's the 1 in, 1 out rule. And it is truly a beautiful way to sustain your home and prevent it from overflooding with more clutter as you are decluttering your entire space. Because the last thing you want to do is you're decluttering, you're doing the work, and then as you're getting rid of stuff, you're bringing more stuff in. I mean, that's counterproductive, but it really, really happens. So try to practice the 1 in, 1 out rule. Now, obviously, it doesn't work for every item. Sometimes an item broke, you got rid of it, and you're purchasing a replacement. That's perfectly fine. So if you need multiple items of the same thing, if you need multiples of the same thing, that's totally fine. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. Lo and behold, you open up your kitchen cabinet and there are like 14 mugs for only 3 people in the house. That is a bit much. If you're getting value from this video, contribute to my coffee addiction by smashing that like button. Decluttering tip number 4, donate or sell your items. When you're decluttering, sometimes it's tempting to go atomic and throw everything in the trash and just be done with it. But before you do, think about donating or selling your unwanted items. Not only is it better for the environment, but it's also a great way to give back to your community and make a little extra cash. Plus, it feels good to know that someone else will be able to use and enjoy the things that you no longer need. I am 100% pro donating. I think that oftentimes it actually helps us let go of items when we know that these amazing items that no longer serve us can benefit somebody else. So there are typically a ton of organizations in your neighborhood. I'll leave the most general ones in the description box below so you can check them out. But it feels so good to donate items. Just keep in mind when you are donating, only donate items that are in good condition. You can also sell your items. I have an entire video dedicated to just teaching you how to make money off your clutter. You can check it out here. When you're decluttering, typically as professionals, we always ask our clients to create multiple piles, and it's donate, toss, sell, and keep. This will help keep you organized. Now, the only ask I have, if you are going to donate your items, make sure that you have a plan for eliminating it from your home. Too often I see families will pack up a bunch of boxes and bags, and then essentially it'll just sit there in their living room or in their basement or in their garage flagged for donation, but it never actually makes it there. So you're pretty much just taking clutter from your space and putting the clutter into a bunch of bags or boxes. You want to avoid that from happening. So maybe if you're somebody who's decluttering 30 minutes every single week, maybe you're not going to have a lot of stuff pile up. So maybe you want to make a schedule such as, this could be part of your decluttering plan. You can have a schedule where once a month you donate to an organization. And depending on where you donate, sometimes you have to drop off, sometimes they'll actually come and pick up your stuff. So just kind of have a game plan in mind so you don't have an overwhelming amount of bags and boxes for donation sitting there. And finally, decluttering habit number 5, keep it up. Ladies, decluttering, like I mentioned earlier, is a process. Decluttering is not a once and done approach. I consider myself as somebody who's an expert in the decluttering space, yet I will still declutter. I still have, I have a child, I have a dog. I will still have areas in my home that will accrue clutter, and that's okay. We just simply have to develop a system to keep going, right? Now, the good news is that if you're somebody who currently has a lot of clutter and it's incredibly overwhelming, right now is really kind of like the hard work. You're putting in the hard work. It's like, when you begin to exercise, maybe you want to lose weight. In the beginning, it's just like you're changing your diet, you're going to the gym, you're exercising, but it's like you're not really seeing results. And lo and behold, after 4, 5, 6 months, you're like, oh my God, I've dropped 30 pounds. I look fantastic. The same concept applies to your home. In the beginning, it's kind of slow, right? You still experience a ton of clutter in your space, but little by little, if you're committed to decluttering on a weekly, bi-weekly, once a month schedule, the clutter will naturally decrease. And in about 6 months, you're gonna look around your space and you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is a game changer. I have so much less stuff, right? So the key is to keep going. We as human beings, we enjoy instant gratification. We want our homes to be decluttered ASAP. It's all about kind of getting our needs met as quickly as possible. But just like with many things in life, you have to invest time and energy into this in order to really see the result. In the beginning, there's a lot of hype and excitement, and you're doing it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then maybe a month in, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. You got to get over it. I'm sorry. There's no magic potion. There's nothing I could say to you other than you have to keep pushing past it, right? If you find yourself procrastinating, because look, hell, a lot of us, we don't enjoy the decluttering process, but you have to keep pushing past it. This is why, taking you back to your why is so incredibly important, because you are going to get to that point where you're just like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to declutter anymore. I don't want to do this. You have to keep going. Keeping it up is the only way you're going to achieve a clutter-free home, and you can achieve it. So many of us came from a cluttered space into a space that's clean and tidy all the time. And I can tell you, as being someone on the other side of it now, it is fantastic. It is so amazing. It has so many benefits. Having a clutter-free home has a ton of benefits. You are going to experience benefits that you didn't even know you can experience. You become more present. You become more grateful. You have more time. It decreases your stress, your anxiety. It improves your mental health, your depression, your physical health. A lot of us don't realize just how having so much clutter in our space is impacting us on a daily basis. And once you achieve that clutter-free home, and you will, if you are committed, if you have a strong why, you will achieve a clutter-free home. And once you do, you're gonna be like, oh my God, Margot, I should have done this like 10 years ago. And that's what I want for every single one of you. But you have to keep it up. If that means having YouTube videos, cleaning and decluttering videos on repeat to keep you motivated, if that means putting on some like upbeat jams, like I will clean and declutter specifically with like music on. I either put on 80s pop radio or I put on salsa. And it gets me into a good motivated headspace. Do whatever you need to do. A great, by the way, simple hack is if you're decluttering like clothing or something in your space, put on Netflix, get on the phone with a girlfriend, right? Pair decluttering with something you enjoy doing. Catch up on that show that you've wanted to watch for the last 6 months. Like I just recently finished watching Wednesday on Netflix. Really good show. I really liked it. Let me know in the comments. Did you like that Netflix show Wednesday? Maybe find an accountability partner. This is why I highly encourage you. Either pair up with a friend or a neighbor or join my free Facebook group where again, you can find yourself an accountability partner where you guys can kind of collaborate and motivate each other on a weekly basis. Like, what are we decluttering, girl? What are we tackling? How are you doing? I just don't feel like doing it anymore. And she's like, you got it. You could do this, right? Do whatever you need to do, whatever works for you, to get that home clutter-free. It is not hard, you can do it, but you have to stick with it. And it does become much easier. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey. And always remember to be good to yourselves.